well loved by not just his players, but the entire community.
Jeff O'Cherry and Johnny McCants will tip it up, and it's the Aggies in the home whites in El Paso here at the Don Haskins Center. The Aggies in El Paso at the Haskins Center for the second time this year. Also played Western New Mexico earlier this season here in this venue. Evan Gilliard knows this venue quite well. He played his home games for UTEP a couple years back. Here's Gilliard, defended by Dibiamaka. Around the horn it goes to Clayton Henry, who's still trying to find his shot late in the season. 2 on the timer for Johnny McCants, and his 3 is short. Rebounded by Western Kentucky transfer Merrick Nelson. Skip pass, a step-in 3 for Uche Dibiamaka, cleared by the Aggies and Gilliard.
We haven't seen, of course, there hadn't been a made basket. We haven't seen the full court pressure yet. Oh, nice backdoor pass by Evan Gilliard.
Clayton Henry couldn't quite finish, and here come the Vaqueros. They average 77 points per game this season. They haven't played many. They've only played 15, which is only 1 more game overall than the Aggies have played. And once again, they are without Sean Ray, who averages 15 a game. He's unavailable. He's their top scorer. Nelson, the off-balance floater, banks in.
Boy, he got bumped before he put it up. It might have been a 3-point play.
And the Aggies, Russ, have to take care of the basketball today. Utrgv forces 20 turnovers per game, which is second best in the country. Jabari Rice turns it over right on cue.
And there it is, yeah.
The Aggies do not turn it over much, but Utrgv just seems to force a ton, whoever they're playing. Extra pass, a corner 3 for Nelson, a little too strong. Kalen Williams out of the backcourt. He played really well last weekend. Made his first start of the season last Saturday. In the absence of Evan Gilliard, shot the ball well. Played 37 minutes in Saturday's loss against Tarleton. Evan Gilliard, a long-distance 3. Missed it wide right. Nelson collects.
But I like that way the Aggies are moving the ball up to this point, other than 1 turnover. The mark of Chris Jance's team for a few years now has been their willingness to share the ball and move things, and sort of the proverbial hot potato.
The Aggies Rush shot the ball very well last Friday, not so much last Saturday. They've been inconsistent shooting the basketball this year.
That's right, and as we see Evan Gilliard there, the Aggies have been, liberal with putting up 3-point shots. They kind of live and die with the 3, which is always fun to watch. And, up until this year, they've won a lot.
Here's 6'4" guard Quentin Johnson. Javon Levi doesn't shoot many threes. He swirls out that one. He's only attempted 16 this year. The Aggies still looking for their first buckets. Without Donnie Tillman today, without Wilfred Lakai, a little short-handed in the final week of the regular season. McCants has some issues trying to grab it, and a foul is called on Utrgv well away for the hoop. And it goes on to Rob McClain Jr.
Foul on the Ghettos, number 12, Rob McClain. That is his first team.
McClain is senior, just checked in for interim head coach Jay Stedman. The Aggies having some issues trying to get in their offense right now. Clayton Henry long distance, and he's way off.
The Aggies get a break there. Clayton Henry struggled in the last few games. And he's normally a great rhythm shooter. He looked to be right into his sort of shooting pocket there, but boy, he missed badly.
Henry 4 for 22 from 3 in the previous 4. He's only shooting 27%. Gilliard has to heed, and he does not draw iron. So the Aggies are scoreless, Russ, 3 minutes in.
Yeah, and it's not for lack of sharing the ball. They're moving the ball well. They just haven't been able to get on track yet.
Levi trying to hand it off to Johnson, and he runs over Rice, and that might be our Javon Levi.
It was, and I would not want to run into Javon Levi. He's thick and strong. This is something they're calling much closer now, sort of the moving screen on the handoff.
I get that call, Russ, and it's called so much nowadays, but sometimes a guard like Levi has nowhere to go.
That's right, and Jabari Rice did the right thing by not ducking behind it. He didn't have time to duck behind. Oftentimes the defender the defender will duck behind the screen and just sort of slide through, but that didn't happen that time.
Levi will take a seat, and Ricky Doc Nelson, redshirt junior from Houston, transfer from Weber State, comes in. Dibiamaka picks up Gilliard in the backcourt. Evan Gilliard from Chicago, but played at UTEP before coming to the Aggies. Good extra pass into the corner. Kalen Williams is shallow, and it's snatched by Johnson, picked up by McLean Jr. Transition 3, Dibiamaka. That's all. And Jabari Rice crashing hard on the defensive glass.
It's interesting to note that Jabari Rice did not come out of the game after that collision. It was Javon Levi that came out of the game. He probably outweighs Jabari Rice by 20 pounds.
Kalen Williams on the spin, drifting out is McCants. Extra pass, Henry. Now he's thinking about it, Russ. Normally he pulled the trigger right there.
Yeah, which isn't a great sign.
Good move by Rice. Tip chance, Johnny McCants. He's back.
Yes, and he had a terrific weekend at Tarleton State when the Aggies split last weekend.
We used to see that so often from Johnny McCants, where a player would miss a shot and Johnny would come out of nowhere and then dunk it back home. As Russ said, coming off a good weekend against Tarleton. Inside, outside, Dibiamaka again. And he swishes in that one. You cannot give him too many tries.
No, he's a terrific three-point shooter, and boy, he sure had plenty of time there.
Dibiamaka now 1 for 3 in the game from three. He's already attempted 3, nearly 5 minutes in. Evan Gilliard working the pick and roll with McCants. Jabari Rice looking for a better offensive day today. Only scored 11 combined points last weekend in the 2 games. Gilliard gets McLean in the air. Williams, extra pass, good look for Jabari Rice. Henry keeps the possession alive.
Yeah, big rebound by Clayton Henry.
Aggies are 1 of 8 from the field, and Rice throws it away. And as we go to break, we remember Lou Hill, the head coach of Utrgv. I'm WAC Coach of the Year. I'm sure he was concerned, Russ, about this early start today. 11 a.m. start would concern a head coach, right?
That's right, and he's, he worries about worrying Chris Jansen. He's hyper prepared. Pretty good pressure by the Aggies. So it's been, I can't imagine the pressure he feels like he's under to keep things going after the 3 incredible seasons he's had.
Aggies only 7-7 this year, 4-6 in the WAC as they enter the final week of the regular season. But it's been a wild, a different season for so many different reasons. There's McCants again in the offensive glass. He had 6 offensive rebounds last Saturday, and he's active again early this morning in El Paso.
Well, especially when the Aggies are going to put up threes, it really helps to get the ball back on misses.
Acrobatic move by Rice. C.J. Roberts was hammered, no call. And it will be Aggie ball on the baseline.
Normally you don't want a little guy putting that shot back up, but C.J. Roberts is so thick and strong that it seemed like he might have a chance to get this back in. He didn't, but the Aggies get the ball back.
Aggies are now 1 of 11 from the field. 0 for 6 from 3. Inbound pass goes to Rice. It seems like they've had some pretty good looks so far. It just can't connect. We'll see what they get in this possession. Drive for Gilliard. Poked away and stolen. This is Laquan Butler who fumbles. Gets it back.
Well, that looks like double dribble to me. But
Chris Jans thought so. And fling to the official, Matt Ruckeson, Chris Rastatter, and Ruben Ramos on the crew as well. Butler, good idea, but Jeff O'Cherry was not rolling towards the cylinder.
And O'Cherry's still sort of coming along as the 7-footer, 6'11", but yeah, that's kind of, that used to be double dribble back in Chicago. I don't know. Even in the English department, that's double dribble.
It's double dribble as well where I'm from too, Ross.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was a regional thing or not. Here's sort of the token zone pressure that Utrgv has not turned up the heat on the full court pressure yet, but I think it's still coming.
Scoreless drought is over. 2 minutes for the Aggies. Skip out to Henry. That's another good look. And that one didn't even draw the iron. McCants can't follow. It's in his head right now, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. He's in a bit of a funk. Now, the great thing about Clayton Henry is he's a terrific defender. He'll keep playing hard and rebounding. Look at him defend there. He really moves his feet. He, helps cause that turnover there. But he's got to get his shooting eye back.
Most players wouldn't defend if they weren't scoring, but to your point, Clayton Henry's defending still.
Oh, boy. He's a really aggressive defender. Really, I think he's a Chris Jans style player where he really gives it his all and scrappy and aggressive on defense.
Evan Gilliard brings the Aggies out of the backcourt. Marcus Watson just came in. Big Will McNair is in as well. He'll apply the ball screen for C.J. Roberts. Roberts maneuvers underneath, backs it out to Gilliard. Here's Marcus Watson, maybe his best weekend as an Aggie last weekend at Tarleton. C.J. Roberts for 3, and there you go.
Yep. He's got great balance and body control.
Gilliard a little bit late to get back, and that's a foul on Evan Gilliard trying to strip it away from the big man from the Bronx, New York, Jeff O'Cherry.
Well, it's Bronx against Philly here, but as we see C.J. Roberts crack that 3. But big Philly, Will McNair's going to have to run the floor too. He's just in the game, maybe still getting his legs under him.
And without Lakai and without Tillman, Will McNair will have to play a lot of minutes today and maybe this weekend as well.
Yes, he may be worn out.
And we could see Mayan Kier a little more than usual as well. He provides some depth on the back end of the bench in the front court.
Well, and remember a week or two ago, we wondered about it. I wondered if Johnny McCants was battling a cold or something. He seemed to be, usually he's high energy, and he seemed to be dragging just a little bit. He wasn't his usual frenetic self. But he seems to be back today, Johnny McCants. Now here's a little more of the zone pressure from Utrgv.
The Aggies were working on that every single day in practice before this game. 20 forced turnovers per game for Utrgv. Straight away, Marcus Watson too strong. Handled by Javon Levi, the point guard for Utrgv. He threads the needle. Jeff O'Cherry, how about that catch?
Well, again, it's Will McNair's going to have to run the floor and find his guy.
Wow.
Pretty good pass.
Pretty good pass, yep. Javon Levi averaged 8 assists per game a season ago, which was second in the country. He's averaging 6 per game so far this year.
Yeah, he's tough and smart and completely confident. He's a great floor leader. And he's actually a pretty good three-point shooter. He just doesn't shoot very many of them because he's too busy running the team.
Support Aggie student-athletes by joining the Aggie Athletic Club. The Aggie Athletic Club prepares student-athletes for life during and after their career at NM State. For more information or to join, visit AggieAthleticClub.com. There is Mayan Kier. Mayan Kier in the game now early on at the 12-11 mark. He did not travel last weekend to Stephenville. Coach's decision. Chris Jans said it was my decision not to travel him. And he is in uniform, and he is playing early today without Tillman, without Lakai. They need Kier here this morning. We just haven't seen a big enough sample size to really know yet what Kier brings to the table.
No, but if he's willing to dive on the floor like that as a big guy, we like him.
Under 12 left in this morning start today in El Paso. It's the Vaqueros by 3. Find their shot right now. And Chris Jans said early on last week, he said, we're going to get up a lot of shots this week in practice. We need to shoot a higher percentage. They did so last Friday, struggled last Saturday, and the Saturday struggles have carried over into today. But they're in this game because they defend well.
That's right, and there's never a lack of effort from Chris Jans' team. One of the things I think he's a real master, as we watch another illegal screen here, one of the things I think that Chris Jans is a master of is putting pieces together quickly, but it's just for whatever reason, the chemistry's been a little bit off this year for a number of obvious reasons, and maybe reasons that none of us understand.
The Aggies are 2 for 16 from the field. Mayan Kier sets the ball screen for Evan Gilliard, who runs into O'Cherry and throws it away. Intercepted by Utrgv, the Australian heart of the rim. And he lays it in over Kier and one for Utrgv.
Well, Kier tried to do what Johnny McCants does so well, make the decision between the handoff and the blocking the shot and taking the charge. He's just a little bit late getting over. He had the right idea.
Dibiamaka, 62% free throw shooter. Vaquero struggles 64% as a team. He's had a lot of shots early. Dibiamaka has now scored 6 of the 11 for Utrgv.
But he's tough and he can really shoot the ball. I like his game. He's a good all-around player. He's not a skinny guy. He can really hold his own on defense too.
I do not believe this is a combination we've seen yet this year for the Aggies. Roberts, Rice, Kier, Watson, and Gilliard. One newcomer to another. Ryan Kier back outside for Gilliard. A 3 for Roberts. Ryan Kier right there to keep the possession alive. A 3 for Rice. That's short. Grabbed by Malik Lawrence Anderson, who's in for the first time for interim head coach Jay Stedman. And then Levi's blocked away by Jabari Rice. They're playing well on this end, that's for sure.
No, that's right. And the Aggies, it's actually, we're fortunate to only be down 6 at this point, the way they're shooting the ball.
Are you okay with the shot selection right now, or is it too many threes?
No, I don't know. I think if they can keep getting offensive rebounds, we saw Mayan Kerr and Johnny McCants get. I think if they're going to miss threes and get offensive rebounds, it's hard to fault that.
Connor Raines, number 3 in gray, just checked in for Jay Stedman. He's playing in his first game since February 6th at Texas Southern. Levi triggers in, gets it right back. Anthony Bratton coming off maybe his best weekend as a Vaquero. He missed a short shot. And the Aggies want to push and get an easy bucket here. Marcus Watson on the move. How about that athletic move by Watson?
Great body control. And look how thick and strong he is, even for a freshman. I think, as we know, he's got a huge future for the Aggies.
And now Watson defends Bratton. Good help defense by Roberts. The Aggies executed well.
Watch the Aggies defense here as it kind of leads into the fast break. And just C.J. Roberts getting the loose one off the floor. It really helps when the guards rebound. And nice decision and body control by Marcus Watson.
That was one of those Euro steps, Russ.
That's right for a Georgia kid. Georgia's not technically part of Europe, but there it is.
Everybody's using that nowadays. Another turnover. This one is stolen by Henry as Levi threw it away.
Which is rare. You won't see that very much. The Javon Levi turnover.
Where does the offense come from here? Gilliard slings it out. Watson again. 5 in a row. Marcus Watson.
And this could be maybe break things open for the Aggies.
Call 480-877-1100.
C.J. Roberts goaltending on Anthony Bratton.
Was that on the way down, or did it hit the backboard first? Little nifty scoop move from C.J. Roberts. We'll take another look here. Just with one hand.
It's supposed to be clean if it's going up, right?
Yeah, I couldn't tell if it hit the backboard first or not.
I don't think it did.
Well, don't tell anybody.
Aggies regain the lead, a 7-0 run. They've made 3 straight now from the field. And the Vaquero scoring drought is over 2 minutes. 2 minutes, 10 seconds. Pull-up jumper for Levi. That's not really his game. And it's cleared by Roberts, and the Aggies are really trying to push now. Trying to find some easy buckets offensively. Evan Gilliard for 3. Marcus Watson trying to tip it in. I thought maybe he would slam that one back in, Russ.
Yeah, he had it. It was just a little too easy for him, I think. Uh-oh.
Anthony Bratton gets an angle, and Johnny McCants comes on the floor. He's coming. Aggies here at the for Anthony. Free throw. Spins there. The rebound number 2. Clinton Johnson picks up Evan Gilliard. This is zone defense, Russ, right now for UTRGV. It appears that way. Maybe a matchup zone.
But look at Javon Levy down on the baseline. It's hard to know, but he came up with a steal there.
All-time leader in steals at UTRGV. Broke the record last weekend. Bratton is stripped, and it goes out of bounds. And Gilliard thought maybe the leg, but it will stay in RGV. 19 last Friday. Good use.
Many more, actually.
No. 8 left. First. For this.
Run.
And in state.
That looks like an 2-3 zone.
Henry operates in the high post. Not a whole lot of movement here. Dribble drive for Roberts. High arcing left-handed floater.
Wow, look at a nice left hand by C.J. Roberts. And that wasn't a layup. That was about a 12-footer on the run.
Merrick Nelson dumps it off to Bratton. Pinballs off the jumper, and that's a foul on UTRGV. It'll go on Merrick Nelson. Vaqueros ahead by 1. Home finale for the... As it lives in Moss.
With been through, they can win the WAC tournament.
Not there by McCloud. Key offensive.
For the there wasn't
former Aggie as anybody here. Every game. Would you right here?
General theory is to get things moving. Look at Jabari Rice. Rice with it. Five in a row for Jabari. Things have really shifted here in the last minute. There we go. Rice will steal it. He scored 5 in the last 2 possessions. Levi way off on a 3. Gilliard always has his eyes up as he crosses this court. Match here, he's defended by Bratton, trying to take advantage by McKeon. Ian Warren, good shot into Kia. Old-fashioned three-pointer and brilliant pass by Evan Gilliard. What's his little head fake and dumps it to McCants a little head fake. Here's Jabari on the steal. He can play that passing line. Great anticipation. This is Diego's leg, though. I think he's 50 weeks. Travel on This is a 10-0 Aggie run. Rice throws it off the leg of O'Sherry behind his back to McCann. Two-man game here, Rice and McCann.
For Jabari.
O'Sherry on him was not quite as mobile. Couldn't get it to go down. Didiamato on his spin. The pass to LaQuan Butler. He misfired. Rice's fourth rebound. Branch left for O'Sherry. Defends McCann. McCann with the right hook. It might have been Olsen. O'Sherry's one of the best flop floppers in the conference. Maybe the best. He's only played in 7 games, so it's hard to tell. But he's elite in that department. That's right. And he's a big presence.
That's right, and he's a big presence. He's the Binghamton transfer. What is that? It is a Binghamton?
Stony Brook.
Stony Brook.
Close.
Sorry. One of my SUNY schools, the State University of New York schools.
They're both in the America East, I believe, aren't
Yeah, I think that's right.
they? Johnny McCann will shoot 2. Yeah, O'Sherry was the America East Defensive Player of the Year a few years ago.
And McCann's just doing the blue-collar work as usual around the basket.
At the line to shoot 2 for the Aggies, number 35, Johnny McCants.
It hasn't been a great first half offensively for the Aggies, but I think defensively, Russ, it's been a great first half.
Oh yeah, they just haven't shot the ball well, but they could hold the Vaqueros under 20 points here if this keeps up.
And we've seen a healthy dose of Mayan Kier, who is about to check in if McCants makes this free throw. How about the improvement for Johnny McCants on free throws? I can't imagine somebody goes from 37% as a freshman to 73% as a senior.
Yeah, it's I'm sure he's really worked hard on it. I don't know which Aggie coach is the free throw coach.
I don't know. All of them, maybe? I don't know. Another good defensive possession. Butler leans into Roberts. He ran over Roberts and Kier.
Well, Butler doesn't do that very often. He's only shot a dozen free throws all year, but he looked good going to the basket there. Maybe he could do it more often. Just like as Javon Levi doesn't shoot the ball a lot. They all sort of know their roles, I think.
We apologize for the audio issues here in the first half at the Haskins Center on occasion. We believe those are fixed here in the final 4 minutes. Marcus Watson blocked from behind by O'Sherry. He saves it on the baseline. Rice launches a 3 and he swishes it in.
Well, great hustle by freshman Marcus Watson.
.3:12 left here in the first half. Aggies on a run, a 14-2 run, and it's the Aggies that
Stink for Marcus Watson.
Rice was scoreless in the first 12 minutes or so, and now he has scored 8. He's been active the previous 4 or 5 minutes. Backdoor to Jeff O'Sherry, who hammers it home two-handed.
Well, O'Sherry sort of coming into his own. Nice pass by Doc Nelson there.
O'Sherry, a grad transfer from Stony Brook. Doc Nelson is in from Weber State. A lot of transfers this year for this Vaqueros program. Mayan Kier gets a touch. Gilliard gets a ball screen from Kier. Somebody has to shoot it. 3 to shoot for Rice. Backdoor to Kier. Fumbled, and he couldn't quite grab it.
Well, I thought Jabari would put that up. It was actually a nice pass, but time was running out, and I think Mayan Kier got a little nervous.
Mayan Kier just hasn't played a whole lot this year. He's only played in 4 minutes a couple of times, and that's his season high in minutes. So already 5 minutes today for Kier, and this is a new season high in minutes, and we're not even at halftime yet. Wasn't eligible until semester anyway. Nelson defended by Watson. This is Doc Nelson. Kier came flying in at him. Utrgv the offensive rebound. And a foul is called on the Aggies, and this one might go on Marcus Watson here.
Well, Kier comes flying out of nowhere to alter the shot, but it left Utrgv alone under the basket. Watch Utrgv come and help, but now leaving his feet, there's not much he could do. He had to make a decision there, and Utrgv took advantage of it.
That was foul number 2 on Marcus Watson. Free throws 4 and 5 for Utrgv. He pinballs off the first one.
He's about 50% for the year, but hadn't shot a lot of them at him, and he's got a nice backspin on it.
6'11", 240, Jeff Utrgv. He's a grad transfer. He's getting his master's, Russ, in business administration.
Wow, well, that's good to know, and he's a great addition for the Vaqueros. And I wondered if, with Lou Hill being from Mount Vernon, New York, I wondered if that was the connection where they were able to land Utrgv, the New York native.
Henry, Gilliard, Roberts, McCants, and Rice. Roberts, a 3 at once contested, missed it short. Tipped out, saved by McCants as he goes up the steps here at the Haskins Center. And our camera view is right on him.
Well, that's row 6, I think he made it up to there. Pretty good hustle by McCants. They both went after it.
Ball out of bounds, possession to the Vaqueros.
And that's a good problem. You want everybody going after the ball.
Not for a lack of effort, that's for sure. Aggies ahead by 7, final 95 seconds here in half 1. Merrick Nelson to Javon Levi. Levi pitches it outside to Dibiamaka. Air ball on the 3. Utrgv grabs it, stripped away. Good hands for Jabari Rice.
Well, Jabari really bailed out the Aggies there because you don't want Utrgv with the ball at 2 feet.
Rice will fire. That one slips off. And Utrgv collects the miss. And Nelson overthrows his teammate, Javon Levi. Turnover struggles continue for the Vaqueros. They're now in double figures with 10.
Yeah, not much for Javon Levi to do with the ball in the corner anyway on that. Maybe an ill-advised pass by Nelson.
Two programs that haven't played a ton of games this year. The Aggies have only played 14. Vaqueros have only played 15. Only 4 league games. They're 2-2. First of 3 games this week for both programs. Johnny McCants angles on Utrgv and finds a way to score.
Well, used his body. McCants is so smart around the basket. Just kind of a good decision there, using his body to get Utrgv on his hip.
And that's a moving screen on Jeff Utrgv. So the ball goes back to the Aggies, and they could get the final shot in the first half right here.
Watch McCants go to work here. He's got Utrgv alone. Just kind of went to work.
Do you feel like Johnny's playing better than they did a couple weeks ago?
I do. It's never lack of effort, but he looked a little tired to me. Maybe he wasn't eating right. I don't know, Adam. But he's I think he's one of those guys who just run himself to death anyway. Maybe he just needed a break.
Shot clock is off. Gilliard has the ball. He's joined on the floor by Henry, McCants, Roberts, and Rice with the Aggies ahead by 9. Gilliard still with it. Roberts, he made it. Oh, what a shot for CJ.
Well, he's got that great body control that we talked about. Watch him on the handoff.
Close attention to that one for many different reasons. And then for the Aggies, they will travel Thursday to play Dixie State in St. George, Utah, Friday and Saturday. That's part of a makeup series from the first weekend of conference play for the Aggies. This is also a makeup game from a late January postponement. And these two programs making up one of those 2 postponed games. Aggies with the first possession in half 2, and that's an unforced error by Evan Gilliard. That rarely happens.
No, I've never seen Evan Gilliard do that. He kind of swept the floor with the ball and lost control of it without anybody touching the ball. Never seen that one happen before, and that's after 5 assists in the first half.
We have raved this year about his assist-to-turnover ratio, and that is a rare turnover, especially an unforced turnover by Evan Gilliard. High post, Quentin Johnson the second, the top available scorer for the Vaqueros in this game today. And Javon Levi connects his second made three.
See, I don't think you can dare Javon Levi to shoot it. His lack of three-point shooting is only because, I think, because he's been running the team so well for so many years. I don't think they can back off him like that.
Kalen Williams didn't play much in the first half, only played 5 minutes. Pick and pop for McCants. Around the horn it goes to Henry, who is still trying to find his shot from the arc. Timer is down to 4 for Henry. Works his way to the rim. Put back for McCants.
McCants in the right spot again. And looks like, uh-oh.
Henry got tangled up underneath with Merrick Nelson.
Clayton Henry lost his shoe. Merrick Nelson's limping, but for Clayton Henry, it's what they call a wardrobe malfunction.
I'll say this, every time I see Henry on the floor right now, I'm thinking injury just because he's battled so much during his career.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I cringe when he goes down. He's overcome so much, and I'd hate to see him get hurt again.
So as Russ said, it was a wardrobe malfunction for Clayton Henry, and Nelson takes a seat on the Vaqueros bench, and you hope he's okay. Rob McClain Jr. comes in for the Vaqueros off the bench. Once again, their head coach is interim head coach Jay Stedman. Head coach Lou Hill passed away tragically February 7th at the age of 55. Just hours after coaching the team at Texas Southern. It's been a really hard month for Utrgv. Johnson posting up Williams. Dibiamaka to Levi. Under 10 to shoot. Levi along 2. Rice is right there for rebound number 6. First half got off to a slow start for both offensively. Then it was picked up late by the Aggies. They built a 12-point halftime advantage. Rice goes away for the ball screen. He is stripped away by McClain. And they're going to say it's Utrgv ball. We have a pretty good angle at that, Russ. We're sitting courtside in the corner here.
Well, I think Jabari Rice thought he either got fouled or had it deflected, but the referee didn't think so.
Levi nearly throws it away. That was intended for somebody else, but it's Dibiamaka to scoop it up. Quentin Johnson is bumped going to the rim. Blocked by Rice. No call. Hilliard to McCants. He'll launch a 3. Missed it short. Follow the miss. Leans in. Can't quite score as it slips off the cylinder. Henry steals. He'll wait for his teammate McCants, and he traveled with it.
I thought Clayton Henry might shoot that one, but he unselfishly waited for Johnny McCants, but just McCants couldn't quite make his decision. But watch, pretty good team defense there by the Aggies, as we saw all the first half. And watch this steal here. Clayton Henry.
To your point, Russ, I think a few weeks ago he does shoot that one, but now he's been a little timid here after missing a couple early on.
Maybe it's not all bad. If he's not shooting the ball, he's going to maybe thinking he'll go back to practice and make a few hundred this week.
Evan Gilliard all over Anthony Bratton trying to force a turnover, and it squirts out of bounds, stays with the Vaqueros. Defense for the Aggies today has been superb, and the Vaqueros are now in a scoreless drought of 2:20. Will McNair only played 1 first half minute. He comes in for McCants. Johnson runs over Rice, and that's offensive on Quentin Johnson.
Jabari, you wouldn't notice he's the leading scorer on the team because he's constantly sacrificing his body. Watch him get right in the middle of this here, chest to chest, boom. Takes the hit for the team.
The Aggies have drawn a couple of charges again today. Hilliard had one earlier. Hilliard brings the Aggies out of the backcourt. They lead by 11. A win today would give the Aggies wins in 3 of their previous 4 games. Henry with under 10 to shoot. It's a ball screen from McNair. McNair rolls throws it, he floats it home, and he was hit, no call.
Yep, beautiful pass. Was that Clayton Henry who passed that?
That
one?
was.
Yeah, nice pass. Maybe that's what Will McNair needs to get going. He might have lost a little confidence coming out of the game so quickly in the first half.
First two today for Will McNair. Hasn't played much here this afternoon.
Pretty good body control by the big fellow, Big Philly.
Javon Levi will trigger. Gets it in for Bratton. Gets it right back from Bratton. Now he'll launch a three. He's probably shot more than he wants to today, Russ. Like you said, he can make that shot. But when you're looking at the stat sheet and Levi's attempted 5 3-pointers and you're barely over a half in, that's probably too much for him.
It may be so, and I think my guess is he's competitive enough that he feels like maybe he's got to carry the team with Sean Ray not in the lineup and the Vaqueros on the road here. And here's what I thought we'd see more of this full court pressure from the Vaqueros, and here it comes a little bit. It's more 3/4 court pressure, I'd say.
The Aggies have done a pretty good job of taking care of the ball today. They've only committed 10 turnovers, which is low against Utrgv. But I'm sure Chris Jans would still say that it should be lower. 4 to shoot for Kalen Williams. How about that finish for the Western Nebraska transfer?
Nice body control by Kalen Williams, and he may be the blend guy that Chris Jans, I think, has been sort of searching for. He doesn't look to shoot unless he has to.
And an offensive foul is called on Utrgv. It goes on Malik Lawrence Anderson. A deuce for Williams puts the Aggies ahead by 15. 37-22. The Aggies ahead by 15, under 16 left. Half number 2 in El Paso's Don Haskins Center on the campus of UTEP. The Aggies have played their home games this year in numerous different places. This is their second home game at UTEP during the course of this 2020-2021 season. Shot clock winds down to 2. Rice stays patient. Clayton Henry rebounds underneath. Rice working on Lawrence Anderson. One-handed stuff on the baseline.
Wow. That was right in front of our noses. I could not believe that he even shot that one, and he jammed it down.
Jabari's had some lift today. A couple of dunks for Jabari Rice.
Well, I thought he was getting challenged on that one. I did not think he'd even try and shoot it. I thought he'd kick it out after. Watch him drive the baseline here. And a pretty great hang time by Jabari Rice. It's over 2 Vaqueros. Wow. That was impressive.
He's got that look in his eyes right now. The young man out of Houston. The Aggies' second chance points, 10, none for Utrgv. I felt like today, Russ, the energy's been pretty good all day for the Aggies, hasn't it been?
That's right, and I think it's the mark of a sort of a team's character when things aren't going great, and they still come out and play hard and play together, and just a terrific defensive effort. Look at with the Vaqueros only with 23 points, and it's well past halftime.
Substitution for the Vaqueros, number 32, Laquan Butler.
Laquan Butler comes in for Johnson for Utrgv. Butler, a transfer from Division I, Southeastern Louisiana. This is Uche Dibiamaka with the free throw. Vaqueros still searching for some offense with the absence of Sean Ray, who averages 15 points per game.
Now here's finally it's legitimate full court pressure in the trap, but it hasn't bothered the Aggies yet.
And Jabari Rice is tripped up on his way to the rim.
I'm like you though, Adam. I start cringing when Jabari Rice gets bumped. Watch him take off here at a sprint.
Some confusion whether or not Rice would get free throws out of this. Utrgv felt like he would not. Rice is ready to shoot a pair. 6'4", 180 redshirt junior out of Houston. The city of Las Cruces is committed to help get Doña Ana County from Red to Green in the Department of Health's Red to Green framework. Let's help our businesses, nonprofits, schools, healthcare system, and residents get back to a more normal way of life. Share your commitment by using Red to Green on social media.
Aggies a little full court pressure here too. Looking to trap full court.
Have you seen Chris Jantz change up defenses more this year than usual?
I think that's right, and it's just trying to get the Aggies going.
Teardrop for Laquan Butler.
And maybe they won't stay in it if the Vaqueros go through it that quickly. You notice the Aggie policy, Aggie goes down and the entire team sprints over to pick them up.
It's quick.
Yes.
I think it's cool too when you see Bryce Rewald and Tennessee Owens, two guys on the end of the bench.
Sure, everybody does what does what they can. And here's Marcus Watson back in the game. I thought Marcus Watson was terrific in the first half.
They also changed a first half foul from Watson to McNair. So Watson only has one, according to the official who told us during a recent break, and McNair has an additional foul. Finger roll no good for Henry. Now he will shoot two.
Yeah.
Do you believe, Russ, that when you're struggling from three, if you get a couple of free throws, it can help out your shot?
Well, certainly that's always been the theory, and we'll see if it holds true for Clayton Henry. The thing that I admire about Clayton Henry is he doesn't seem to care that he's not shooting well. He's going to give you a great effort anyway. And I noticed a couple series ago, I almost said something that he seems to be the one setting the defense. He's calling out assignments and reminding everybody when the ball's out of bounds. He does seem to be among the most vocal of the Aggies in terms of leadership.
Henry scoreless today, but he has played 23 quality minutes nonetheless. And he gets the second of two. Lead is 16. Largest lead today was 17. The Aggies were up 12 at the break. Dibiamaka misses the floater short. It is saved on the end line, but the Vaqueros hustling a bunch just could not get away from the end line.
And here comes the full court trap again. I think the Vaqueros are just trying to do something to spark themselves here.
Vaqueros forced 20 turnovers per game. They average 10 steals per game. They are top 3 in the country in both categories. Really good defensively. They've always been really good defensively. Push shot for Marcus Watson. Way off on the three. Doc Nelson will zigzag into the front corner. The Aggies left a shooter. That's Butler. They catch a break as Watson clears. And then he goes behind his back. Scooped up by Roberts. Not pretty, but the Aggies can slow things down here. Rice says, I'm not slowing down. Dump ball for McNair, and he rattles the cylinder.
I can't believe he found McNair there. I thought he's in trouble now. He's got nothing to do with it. And just a nice wraparound pass from Jabari Rice.
Pull-up jumper for Dibiamaka. Offensive rebound, McLean, and he tosses it away. Intercepted by C.J. Roberts.
Well, go on. It's a 5-on-4 advantage here.
Henry for three. McNair, the offensive rebound. Stays on his feet. Needs a teammate right now. He finds Jabari Rice, and now they'll reset with Roberts.
Well, Aggie's got an easy look there. McNair did the right thing, I think. He just didn't have position to get that thing back up on the glass.
McNair is always due for a big thunderous dunk every couple weeks, isn't he?
Well, that's right. And I talk about improving. He's as we've talked about in previous broadcasts, it takes big guys a little bit longer. But with Will McNair, it's been steady improvement as we see C.J. Roberts back at the free throw line.
First free throw try for Roberts in the game. He is 70% for the season. He's really picked up his scoring recently. 13 points per game in the 2 games last weekend for Roberts, and now today he has scored 11. Support Aggie student athletes by joining the Aggie Athletic Club. The Aggie Athletic Club prepares student athletes for life during and after their career at NM State. Visit AggieAthleticClub.com for more information or to join today.
Pretty good hustle by Clayton Henry there. See, that's what I mean. He's relentless. And look at him directing traffic. He seems to be the most vocal, least of the bigger Aggies, and kind of leading the defensive charge.
Chris Jans has said a bunch this season, even said it a little bit during the offseason, that during practices, during drills, he will tell the newcomers, pay attention to Henry. Do what he does, because he's doing what I want him to do right now, exactly the way I want him to do it. And Henry's certainly been a leader by example. Watson outside straightaway three for Jabari Rice. Pinballs off. Potties go flying. McNair hit the hardwood quite hard in the paint. Butler to the rim. Layup no good. Offensive rebound for McLean. He's blocked away by McNair. And Roberts couldn't quite save it as he was tiptoeing around the end line.
Well, Adam, watch Will McNair gets up off the floor, runs the length of the floor, and still affects the outcome. Watch him come into the picture here, and he was on the ground moments ago. So that's a great sign that a guy at 6'11", 250 pounds can get up and run the floor like
that. Inbound pass goes to Butler. Henry trying to box out Raines, and Raines falls out of bounds, but they're going to say it's Vaquero's ball.
Well, the Aggies are fortunate. Laquan Butler may be their best three-point shooter, and he just hasn't been able to connect today.
Raines for three. Connor Raines, sophomore from Beacon Falls, Connecticut, playing in his first game in almost a month. Roberts on the blow-by, blocked by O'Cherry, using that big length. One of the best shot blockers in the conference. It's all Aggies today in El Paso, 46-31 here at the Haskins Center. First of three conference games this week for both programs in the final week of the regular season. Next week, Russ will be in Vegas at the Orleans Arena as the Aggies look for their fourth straight WAC tournament title. It's anybody's tournament this year, it appears, isn't it?
Well, that's right, but I think Grand Canyon looks terrific, as does Utah Valley. I think anything can happen, but the Aggies have dug themselves into a little bit of a hole.
Grand Canyon will actually play Utah Valley this weekend for the regular season title. Right now, Grand Canyon has a half-game lead in the standings, and the Aggies draw another charge.
There's our three-point shooter who's in a slight slump, but he's in no defensive slump. And he's certainly no slump in terms of effort and playing smart. Clayton Henry. Aggies are going to miss him now.
I'm starting to get the feeling that the shots that are made by Henry, it's just a bonus because he does everything else so well.
I think that's probably the right way to think of it. I hadn't thought of it that way, and I think that's a really smart way to think about Clayton Henry's game.
Kalen Williams with the ball, bounces for C.J. Roberts, who bobbles and then regains. Good pressure defensively by Doc Nelson.
I think he's really a PhD, Adam, Doc Nelson, or looks like he's a doctorate in defense, I can tell you that.
His name's Ricky, but he goes by Doc. And now the Aggies only have two to shoot. Need to make sure everybody knows it. The Aggies bring in Rice here for offense. Rice will inbound. You need to catch and shoot here. Williams, catch and shoot, off balance three. Fight for the rebound. It's grabbed by Doc Nelson. Butler on the attack. Was looking for Johnson. Grabbed by O'Cherry, and a foul is called in the interior.
Yeah, Aggies got themselves in trouble. The ball's just too close to the basket. About three passes in a row. Right in the lane. Watch him get into the paint here.
Foul on the Aggies, number 0, C.J. Roberts. That is his first 13.
And, only that Quentin Johnson mishandled that pass kept them from getting an easy basket.
Jeff O'Cherry shooting two. He's already attempted 6 free throws today. He is 3 for 6. UTRGV 7 for 11 as a team. Grad transfer from Stony Brook. Cherry came in from Stony Brook. You have Doc Nelson in from Weber State. Malik Lawrence Anderson came in from Tyler Juco. Butler, who's in the game, came in from Southeastern Louisiana. Anthony Bratton came in from Indian Hills. So those are just some of them. Eric Nelson transferred in from Western Kentucky. That's kind of the route coaches go nowadays, is get a lot of transfers, and it's worked for UTRGV.
It certainly has.
Five rebounds already for the 6'1" CJ Roberts. 10 1/4 left in half two. Aggies are ahead by 15. They're looking for McCants. Williams finds him. O'Cherry there to meet him. McCants going to work. Stays on his feet. And O'Cherry grabs the miss. Pretty good move, though.
Yeah, classic battle between O'Cherry and Johnny McCants.
Connor Raines and one.
And the Aggies have to stop letting that happen. Watch Johnny McCants go to work here. Just can't get it to go down. Got bumped a little bit, but normally that's it. That's normally you can withstand that. But the Aggies, the Vaqueros are getting into the paint too often, I think, for Chris Jans's taste, and for mine as well.
12th free throw try this year for Connor Raines. He's been a pleasant surprise today. Raines last played February 6th at Texas Southern. To shoot for Kalen Williams. Searches in the key. Picks up the dribble. McCants for Rice. Needs to hurry. Running floater is good for Jabari Rice. Good patience.
He was so calm there. I was going to say, it's like, it's almost like he doesn't have a pulse. He's so cool and collected there.
Rice now has 14, which is one above his season average of 13. O'Cherry.
Well, they're penetrating into the Aggie defense a little too often for the Aggies to be happy about that.
Williams back out. McCants wide open look for Henry. That is a big three for Clayton Henry.
That's exactly what he needs, and it was a nice ball movement. He didn't hesitate on that one.
Shot that one with confidence, Russ.
Yep.
Javon Levi to the rim. Back outside. Connor Raines again. This one is way short. Henry collects. Ahead for Roberts. C.J. Roberts trying to dunk it, and he couldn't finish. Might have lost the handle. Levi's transition three misfires. Put back for O'Cherry.
O'Cherry's asking to come out of the game. He's gassed from this great effort he's given there.
Roberts still looking for a foul in the previous play. Floater misfires for Kalen Williams. Levi muscling on Williams. Rice trying to grab the rebound, and he can't grab hold of it. It rolls out of bounds to UTRGV.
Substitution for Danny for the 3.
Here's Clayton Henry. When he gets in his rhythm like this, of course, it's nearly a layup for him. He gets a nice elevation. His feet are set. He's very much a rhythm shooter. And I like your take on him, Adam. That's a smart way to think of it. He's a great role player who also can really get hot when he's on. Well, not maybe a role player, but he does all the little things. And when he's shooting, boy, he's as good as there is in the conference.
He shot it well a couple years ago in Vegas. I know the Aggies are hopeful he will do the same next week at the Orleans Arena. He's one of the few that's been there before. So many newcomers this year for the Aggies. Many of these guys have not played in the WAC tournament yet. Ryan Keir blocks Butler, but he was fouled first by C.J. Roberts. Under 8 left in half two. Aggies ahead by 13 at the Haskins Center.
White Claw Hard.
March regular season loss for the Aggies was March 2nd, 2013 at Magnus Arena at Denver. Bonjasi scored 21, Singular scored 17. And the Aggies haven't lost in March in a regular season game since.
Here's Laquan Butler, who's one of the better three-point shooters in the league, but struggled there from the foul line. From Benton Harbor, Michigan, which is a basketball hotbed. If you're a Midwest guy, you do know.
A good amount of minutes today for Mayan Keir and Will McNair in the absence of Donnie Tillman and Wilfred Lakai. Evan Gilliard was a game-time decision, but he is playing today, did start. The Aggies have needed some others to step up, and they have today. One of them has been C.J. Roberts. Hard to the rim. Alters the shot in midair. And it's a shot clock violation on the Aggies.
Well, C.J. Roberts did all he could, including about a 4-second hang time there, but couldn't get it to go down.
12 today for Roberts, 14 for Rice, 10 for McCants. 5 big points as well for Watson, and McNair had a stretch with 4 points, or a couple of possessions. Vaqueros trying to make a run. They've trailed by as many as 20. They could trim this to single figures on this 3 right here for Chris Freeman. They're going to call it a 2. The first deuce today for Freeman, who's only played 4 minutes.
Well, if the Aggies are going to hold on here, it's going to have to be at the defensive end. That's where they sort of made their mark in the first half.
Gilliard waiting for a ball screen. He gets one from Mayan Keir. Now Keir applies one for Rice. Outside, open look, Evan Gilliard. Put back for Rice, and it's good.
Well, the Aggies played the ball instead of the horn. It looked to me like the Vaqueros stopped a little bit when the shot clock horn went off.
16 for Jabari, who's back to his old self today after a tough scoring weekend in Stephenville. Levi shoots his 6th 3, misses that one wide left, and the foul is on the Aggies away from the ball.
Pretty good putback by Jabari Rice. They're at the right place at the right time. I think you're right, though, Javon Levi he's put up 6 3-pointers today. He's only shot 14 for the year, and I wonder if he's just trying to bail out the Vaqueros, who are a little bit short-handed today.
That last foul was on Henry, number 2 on him. Clayton will stay in. McCants came in for Keir. Corner 3, Johnson, who's one of the better 3-point shooters for Utrgv. And that will be Aggie ball.
Ball out of bounds possession for the Aggies. Substitution for the Vaqueros for 3 Connor Reigns. For the Aggies. For the Aggies, number 11, Kane Williams. Also for the Vaqueros, number 4,
Bodies have been flying all day here at the Don Haskins Center. Kudos to these 2 programs for finding a way to make up this game, which was supposed to be played in January. It was a late January series that was originally scheduled, but it was postponed because of COVID as Levi steals and scores.
Now it's back to a 10-point game again. I don't think the Aggies are out of the woods here yet.
These 2 programs were hoping to make up both games, but only enough time for one. And they'll both have a pair of games this weekend before heading to Vegas.
They could just hang around here and make an hour rest and play again. What do you think?
They could. Back to the AAU days. Rice is posting up Levi on the arc. Good matchup here. Outside for Henry. His 2nd straight made triple.
Well, really a great decision by Jabari Rice, who sort of snuck by Javon Levi, which is really actually one of the hardest things you can do on the court, is to get by Javon Levi.
McCants pokes away the post entry, grabbed by Reigns. You have to hope, if you're an Aggie fan, there will be a carryover effect with how well Henry shot the ball in half two into this weekend and then into Vegas. No help side defense, and O'Cherry gets right behind McCants for the slam.
Yeah, it's a gamble by Johnny McCants. He might be better off playing behind O'Cherry that far away from the low post.
Aggies break it. Henry thought about the three. Floater, good.
Well, Clayton Henry's out. The slump's over there for Clayton Henry. He's coming on in a big way here.
Henry is up to 9. He averages 8.5 per game. Connor Raines a step in three. Timeout called by Utrgv.
He's been such an unselfish Aggie for his entire career. And so it's, but he was just in a little mild shooting slump. I've been in a shooting slump all my life, Adam, so I can sympathize.
Henry 3 of 5 for the field in this half. 2 for 3 from 3. All 9 have been scored in this half for Henry. And really, it's been the last 10 minutes or so in which Henry's done his damage. One-on-one, McCants defended by O'Cherry, one of the best shot blockers in the league. Now Henry is looking for a shot. This is a pull-up jumper. There you go. He has 11 and half two.
Boy, the spigot is now broken. He's stuck on automatic here. Just an outpouring now from Clayton Henry. But Aggies are only up 12. There's still plenty of time.
They've led by as many as 20. Offensive on Johnson. Guess who draws the charge?
Well, this may be the best half Clayton Henry's played in his career.
The Canadian Henry on both ends of the floor. Aggies by a dozen.
Each other. They're both around medium-sized players that can really shoot the ball. Clayton's a little bit taller, a little bit stronger. Jabari may be the better shooter. But they go well together.
Kalen Williams blocked by O'Cherry. Chris Jans said yesterday at his press conference, he said he's starting to have some guys, and Rice is probably one of them, that have been to the WAC tournament before in Vegas, that are reminding the newcomers what it takes to win in Vegas and how you need to perform leading up to Vegas as well.
Well, it's 3 games in 3 days if they get that. Oh, nice pass by Jabari. Clayton Henry doing it all at this point. But a big thing for the guys who haven't been to Vegas before is the distractions. It's bright lights and noisy and exciting. And if you haven't been there before, you know, if you're not the kind of guy who just wants to go to his hotel room and watch ESPN, it can be really distracting.
Levi's off the mark on his three. McLean can't grab it. And the Aggies will have the ball with 2:43 left. We've seen most of the teams in the conference so far this year, Russ. We haven't seen everybody live, though, because it's been such a different year where you don't play everybody at their place. What are your thoughts on the WAC heading into next week?
Well, you know, Grand Canyon, I think, clearly has the upper hand, and Utah Valley right behind, but there's some sort of sleeper teams. Aggies are one of them, and the Vaqueros here are another one. Also Seattle. And, you know, I think anything's possible, and taking anybody lightly at this stage is a huge mistake. The first game, the most important game is the first game, because that's what gets you into the semifinals. You can't take it easy the first game.
Floater for Gilliard. Rice trying to grab the rebound. It's loose in the corner. Raines may have stepped out of bounds, but he gets away with it.
Right in front of our nose, too. We could have helped the officials there if they would just ask us.
Butler an off-balance floater. And O'Cherry's whistled for the personal. I can't imagine there's been a time before us where every team in Vegas really feels like they have a legitimate shot of winning the thing.
Well, that's right. But if anybody's earned the #1 seed, of course, at this point, it's Grand Canyon, who the Aggies had their number for a long time. It really caused problems for the Phoenix school, but they lost both games in Phoenix this year. So I'd say Grand Canyon is the clear favorite, but you know, anything can happen. And I don't think there's no one. I think in the past when the Aggies were the clear favorite, they were flirting with top 20 status.
First free throw for Chicago native, former UTEP miner Evan Gilliard. Sports Accessories has the best Aggie gear in town at the best price. Check out their showroom in Las Cruces or visit the online store at theaggieshop.com.
And number 23, Anthony.
Well, this weekend in Phoenix, Grand Canyon and Utah Valley can kind of duke it out. They're going to play for the WAC regular season title. Right now, the Lopes have a half-game lead. But those two teams are playing this weekend, so I'm sure they'll beat up on each other heading into Vegas.
That's what the Aggies would hope, is that they'd be bruised and battered and exhausted before Vegas comes around.
Busy time right now for Aggie athletics. Aggie football is in action this weekend in El Paso on Sunday against Dixie State. We'll have that one for you on television. Anthony Bratton with the jump hook. It's been a quiet day for him after two really good games last weekend against Utah Valley and Orem.
Well, Clayton Henry bailed out Jabari Rice there. He had nowhere to throw the ball.
And then Gilliard a little bit out of control. He's looking for a timeout, and he will get it. How about the second half for Clayton Henry? Director today is Jason Moon. Our producer today, Graham Taylor, Joe Pashley, and our entire Floodstream Productions crew. Thanks to them and thanks to you for joining us as the Aggies conclude the home portion of the regular season in another different venue in another different state. Their second home game this year here in El Paso's Haskins Center. Henry again and one. And that'll be quite the finish to the day for Clayton Henry.
Well, the Vaqueros trying desperately to trap, and as the shot clock went down, they probably should have just backed off because they didn't get the steal. But Clayton Henry with again at the right place at the right time, and Jabari Rice with a beautiful pass. This is where I think Jabari Rice is really good. He's calm and cool. Everyone's yelling 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and Jabari's just as calm as can be. It's as if the game goes in slow motion for him, and it's in regular speed for everybody else. He didn't panic. He could have shot that, but he found Clayton Henry.
Does Jabari Rice have to be great for the Aggies to win 3 games in 3 days next week?
I'm going to say all 10. There's going to be 10 Aggies. They're going to have to play great. It's going to have to be a team effort, I think, as we see Marcus Watson come back in and Johnny McCants get a rest. But I think they're going to have to hit on all cylinders. They don't have that kind of firepower from what I think. As good as Jabari Rice is, he's not a one-man team.
I think we've heard Chris Jan say that before, that you need guys to step up that maybe haven't stepped up a ton for you this year. You're going to have guys like that in Vegas if you're going to win a title. Anthony Bratton will go to the free throw line for 2.
Fouling the Aggies, number 14, Marcus Watson. That is his third, 17.
Anthony Bratton will shoot 2 free throws. Transfer from Indian Hills Community College. Quite the JUCO.
And I think that's where big Ivan Aure-Coachier was from Indian Hills as well.
In Iowa, yep. Indian Hills has had quite the program for a while. And once again, too, while we have a moment, we certainly want to send our thoughts and our prayers to the family of Blue Hill. Passed away tragically back on February 7th. This has been a really hard month for Utrgv, so we certainly want to pass along our thoughts and our prayers with Lou's family and with the Utrgv family, as well as Tennessee Owens and Bryce Rewald both come in, and that's really cool in the bench area there, Russ. Utrgv has a sport coat and a clipboard and a picture of Lou Hill on the bench.
That's right, and I can't remember this ever happening in Division I basketball.
Rewald trying to find Owens, and it was deflected. I've heard so many good things as well about Jay Stedman, who's filling in right now as the interim head coach. A well-liked figure around the world.
He has a terrific reputation all through college basketball. Uh-oh.
Marcus Watson has to track it down. There's about a 10-second difference, game clock, shot clock. We'll be joined by Chris Jans post-game. We'll get his thoughts before the Aggies play Dixie State this weekend in St. George, Utah. This is a good win today. The Aggies have now won 3 of their previous 4. Watson straight away 3. And Marcus Watson now has 8. His first 3 points in the half. Javon Levi, short. Roberts collects, and the Aggies improve to